Hey guys, Elite Legionario here. Today I'll be bringing you a 4-player free-for-all for Rome Total War Barbarian Invasion. I'm in command of the Goths. My opponents are Master Bates, who is the Huns. Can't say this guy's name, I'm just going to call him Spiel, I think. He was a historically minded chap who's in command of the Eastern Roman Empire, and I'm up with Muggle again, who's in command of the Western Roman Empire. So I'm going to begin this by using my Steep Horde Steep Horde Horsemen, basically, or light horse archers to harass him. And this was the weirdest Hunnic army I have seen. Hunnic infantry is really some of the poorest in the game. It's only really useful for sieging. Here he charges into my Goths, but I mean it wasn't really worth it because they can hold, and I've got spearmen right in behind to support anyway. So he's going to do that anyway, but I'm just going to intercept him with spears, and I'm going to go all out on one flank with my 3 units of gold Gothic noble warriors. Also 4 units of gold attack, or silver attack rather, Goth raiders, and I think it was 5 units of gold Steep Horde chosen warriors and 2 gold spearmen, which have easily got the best of this because of the Pindle's Hunt cavalry right in the front. They've got infantry support right behind them. Over here I just swamp and destroy his Hunt guys. I'm going to swing around behind him with my horse archers and get flank shots. I do believe he might have caught my other horse archer unit actually, which was kind of frustrating. But he's coming down here and trying to surround me, but that won't work because I can just shoot him in the back with my archers. So he's getting heaps of numbers down, but my men are easily able to hold it because I got much more upgrades. He does have upgrades, but not very many. But this is, as I said, Hunnic infantry is just not really that good. Now I'm going to come up with a great big Cameron Amble, and that'll rout his whole army. And he's out of there.
The army is running like a startled goat. Hunt him. Goats make good eating.
And there's his general.
Enemy warlord lies dead. Now he can drink with his ancestors and watch his warriors flee.
Sadly, this guy didn't take this defeat so well, and he was basically, he just sort of like swore at me for beating him and then rage quit. So unfortunately, that does happen. But I don't know this guy. Maybe he had a bad day or something, I'm not sure. But I don't particularly like when people do that. I just think it's annoying. I mean, as I said in the past, I completely understand getting frustrated when you lose. I mean, I get frustrated when I lose, but I don't swear at the people who beat me. That's just really, really bad. But I won't lie. I can get mad when I lose. Doesn't mean I'm a poor loser or anything. I mean, I always congratulate my opponent when they beat me and whatnot. Or when I beat them, whatever, it's just standard for me. But I will admit I can get mad if I lose.
Nothing. Any of our warriors would die rather than run.
I do like to win, but there's absolutely no need to be swearing and carrying on like that at people who beat you.
No longer a battle. This is a hunt. No, a coward chase.
So anyway, that's my opponent pretty much defeated, and while this has been happening, it looks like Muggle has had a reasonable amount of success in dealing with Spiel's Eastern Empire army. He has Comita Tenses versus more Comita Tenses. It's just a Comita Tense game, but I think the Western Empire's more upgraded. I'm not sure what cavalry he was using either. Looks like he was using... I can't really tell actually. It's kind of hard to say. It looks like he's using some sort of one of the cataphract style units. But it's likely if he had many of those he wouldn't have be able to upgrade them much, so that is an advantage that Muggle would have had, but he's going to beat him pretty soundly. But he had some good knowledge on the this time period for the Roman armies, and we had a good conversation about it. It was quite cool. But Muggle's going to make pretty short work of him, so I think he had about 4 or 5 Comita Tenses and a Comita Tense first cohort Muggle, and he had some Summation Auxilia which are an awesome unit. I love them. And I'm not sure what he had in archers. So over here, these Legio Lanzarii, they're a cool unit, fighting pretty hard, but they're not winning. Yeah, I mean, they were talking about how the Western Empire was pretty militarily crap. I wouldn't necessarily say it was militarily crap. It was just in so much trouble as an empire that it really couldn't afford to maintain itself. But I think it would have slipped from the original Roman Empire's standard. But I still think it would have had some pretty decent units, and it did have some pretty decent units at its disposal. But I come out of this fight pretty much unscathed, so I'm just reorganising my men. As you can see, one of my horse archers managed to catch it, weaken it a bit, but it doesn't really matter. The other one didn't get caught though. So yeah, I mean, this Hun army was huge and mostly infantry orientated, so it didn't really play into the greatest strength of the Huns. It's more you want cavalry with a little bit of infantry to add some support, but ultimately you want mostly cavalry. Their infantry is not very good. Different story with the Goths. Their infantry are a lot better. These guys are quite deep horde chosen warriors, are quite capable, and they can fight. Those like Comita Tenses pretty well. They can fight pretty even with them if they don't use the Appealer, or you can avoid the Appealer like with the Appealer screen. I mean, these Goth noble warriors are very good. But I only bought 3 because they're very expensive. That's the thing, Barbarian cavalry in this game is extremely powerful, but very expensive. So it's quite counterbalanced, so I only have 3. So I'm going to send my horse archers forward and skirmish and harass these guys before they get a chance to, or at least muggle before they get the chance to actually properly reorganise themselves. You also have some of these Foederati infantry. These guys were like barbarians who were accepted into the Empire. They work as spearmen and auxiliary units. They're quite useful too.
This is no longer a battle, this is a hunt. No, a coward chase.
As you can see, they're probably very useful against that Eastern Empire cavalry. So I'm steadily going to make my way. The Goths are very cool. It's almost like these guys look like they're wearing segmented armour, like the Romans used to wear. It looks like it. To a certain extent. And these spearmen are just support units because I didn't have a heap of heavy cavalry. But in this case I've got my general, here he is here. There he is with a cape. You know, they've all got capes rather, the sort of brown cape rather, not the orange one. There he is. I've only got, I put him in the cavalry because I think the cavalry is the strongest unit that the Goths got. But usually in Rome Total War I actually prefer to put my general in the infantry because I think infantry have a greater survivability in most cases, unless you're playing as like Parthia or something. But at least when I play with them I think they do. I definitely do it with Rome because I think their infantry is best. And I definitely do it with the Barbarians because I think their infantry is also better than their cavalry. So anyway, Muggle's moving up to take advantage of this slight hill here, but I'm moving, so I'm sort of coming up along here so I can just sort of swing around and even the playing field basically. While it's been happening, I have been harassing his infantry lines. So I got one on each side basically, so no matter what side he sort of moves I can get some flank shots in. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, 6 Comita Tenses, a Comita Tense first cohort which looks like it hardly took any damage, and 4 Foederati infantry and 2 Summation Auxiliate by the looks of it. So very light on in the cavalry department, which is interesting. And I make a bit of a squander here. I forgot he even had these. They were so far away that I didn't actually notice he had them. So these guys are going to unfortunately be hit by them because I didn't have skirmish mode on, I don't think. Or if I did, they didn't react in time. But I'm actually having quite a lot of success, and I booted myself and I didn't see it. Like, well, you know, I wanted to boot myself. But I was having quite a lot of success here, and I was just thinning them out quite nicely. But I really squandered it because I just didn't even see them, and then I get hit. So that's the mistake I really make nowadays, but that's not watching everything on the field. I almost never make that mistake, but in this case I did. Fortunately they come back though, so I can carry on and I won't make a mistake twice. But I'm moving up and I'm going to just come around out here. But my other guys are still having quite a bit of success. Well, they're coming from the front though, so it's less successful. But fortunately this unit will regroup, although it has lost, it's down to half strength. But I'll keep an eye on that Roman cavalry. So he's going to chase me down, but I do believe he goes much too far. Well, he might, I'm not sure if he pulls back on this or not. He's going quite far though. And no, I don't think he stays at this, but this is useful because now they've come into range of my archers basically, and I'm going to be able to do considerable damage to them when I get my archers into them, these Goth raiders, because they're now in range of a huge deal of archers, so he's going to lose. He sees it though and he pulls out, but he does lose a good number of horses before he gets out of range, I do believe. And he loses probably about 5 or 6 horses, more than that. But he's lost, probably about, he's lost enough to make it vitally dangerous. So I'm actually managing to outposition him, almost. And I'm going to harass him again with my horse archers. I like how they got the shield on the back, it's quite cool. So now I'm going to go both sides of his army again. And I seem to have forgotten about my cavalry, but I'll move them up in a moment. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you've got to be watching everything you're doing. And if you don't, you can get in a bit of bother like I did before with that cavalry. But I mean, I never make that mistake anymore. That was when I was very new to online, was when I made that, but I don't make it anymore. And if I do, it's like once and almost never. That was like the first time I've ever done that in like 100 games. So it's a mistake I don't really make. So yeah. So anyway, I see that his army is moving into position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rush him because he's out of position, so he's not going to be able to use any peeler if he has any left. So if I catch him out of position, I'm going to do better. But his men are winning this fight, more or less. It says they are anyway. While this is happening, I'm bringing all my cav to one side. And if he does charge, there's my spearman right there to add support. And I'm going to send this unit around for flanking purposes. But he has got a secondary line here and he's using his peeler, which is a good move. But my men are managing to win most of that infantry fight now, and I got all my archers in there as well. So I must be again to support, and his Foderati infantry are not going to be able to stop my cav, but I pull out anyway. But it causes a nice rout here when I do that, and I come in, and I didn't really need to because this unit managed to do it anyway. So I got these guys hanging around the back, and I got my horse archers hanging around the back getting flank shots, and I'm going to outflank with a spearman unit as well. He brings in other units to add support and power to his army, but he's trying to use his Foderatis to fight, but I'm not going to let that happen. I'm just going to snag them with my own spearmen and then use my cavalry to finish him off once and for all in this particular fight here. So he's starting to break, and his army's crumbling all around him, and now I'm just going to finish up one final last blow here. It's pretty standard. The enemy's got spearmen, sometimes I just like to use my own spearmen against them if I can, and that's enough to distract. And there's the Roman general.
Enemy flee from the field like frightened goats, hunt them down and slay them all.
So that's pretty much this fight over, guys, and it's going to end with me victorious, which is always nice for me. But it was a very good game to Muggle, Spiel, and I think his name was Masturbate, set for his aggressive swearing, but I'll let it go. So anyway, that's a pretty clean victory. I had 1,075 men, I got 2,216 kills, so I quite comfortably had the most. I had 861 men remaining, so I most of my army survived this as well. Muggle had 1,041, he got 1,390, so he did a very good job against Sperry. Woof, I'm not going to try it. He had 1,390, but only 11 of his men survived. And I'll just call him Spiel or Spiral. He had 1,496, got 285 and 141 men remaining in Master Bates. He had 1,524, and he had 111 men remaining. Sorry, got 111 kills and 72 men remaining. As you can see, my Goth No Warriors only got 300, 272. This one did get to 350 nearly. My Deepwood Chosen Warriors 178, 141. Gothic Spearmen, even they got 143 and 85. 199, 144. Goth Raiders 181, 43. I mean everything got really high kills. Only biggest casualty I sustained was 38, and some of my horsemen, which got 141, 55 respectively. So everything did really, really well. Lots of hundreds there. So great job for my army. So good game to Muggle, Spiel and Master Bates. Thanks for playing, guys. Thank you for watching, viewers. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon next time.